Everyone, hope everything is going well. I may be losing some followers with this video. Oh well. It does hurt when it comes to channel growth, but I'd rather do what I want to do rather than trying to amass the most amount of followers. It's the Killers, right? This is an idea from Colin Shoemaker. Saw in a video of his. Aaron Hernandez. Edward Kennedy, aka Ted Kennedy, killed a lady at Chappaquiddick back in the day. You got Ray Lewis, allegedly killed somebody before the Super Bowl. You got none other than Bill and Hillary. How many of the people they knew committed suicide? You tell me how that happens. You got, Dick Cheney over here? Like, I bash everyone, right? It's not just picking on one political party. But, speaking of our society, it ties into the hobby. And I wanted to get into this. The influencers are always late to the party in this hobby. And you could say that in our society, it's not necessarily influencers. But I would say that, the media, for instance, they're always late to the party. Like 5 years ago, I was telling people, and I didn't vote that election, and I don't plan on voting too many elections moving forward. And I discussed that in my live the other day, so if you want to take a look at that, you can. But anyways, it was fairly obvious to me that Joe Biden was suffering from dementia, Alzheimer's, whatever, right? Something along the lines. Something was off. Right? I discussed this with other people, not on this channel, but they said that I'm nuts, I'm kooky, I'm a crackpot. So I've heard this, outside of sports cards. When I go into sports cards and speak my mind, I hear the same exact thing. I don't know what it is. Is it cognitive dissonance? Whatever the story is. But anyways, you see stuff like that, and I've talked to people about all sorts of stories that the media pushes. And then I push back saying, no, that's BS. A couple of years later, the story comes out to be truth. And yet they still call me a crackpot. This is outside of sports cards. In sports cards, I get the same exact treatment, where I'm talking about issues a couple of years before the trend. Like Kurt's Card Care, I was right there in 2022 when that was a hot button issue. I lost followers on YouTube. I lost followers on Instagram because of that. And a lot of people kept quiet. A lot of people didn't have the courage to speak out when it actually mattered. Because then PSA could have taken all of this initiative. But the PSA actually took initiative when someone shouted out Kurt's Card Care at PSA. It was that bad. They had to come up with a response. But it's all smoke and mirrors, because I don't see PSA deactivating cards that have used the juice. People have admitted to using the juice. They're looking the other way. Just like with that one card, the Honus Wagner PSA 8 card, that was known to be trimmed, yet it's still out there in the collection of the Arizona Diamondbacks owner collection, right? I'm looking at that, and I'm thinking to myself, hey, if the influencers are too scared of speaking out about issues, what else are they going to be scared about? That particular issue of Kurt's Card Care. Because everyone now was talking about Kurt's Card Care the last few months. And then PSA came out with new rule changes. I'll give you other examples too, right? I really didn't see someone like Lamim James talking about that. He did do a post. I was re-looking at his post from a few years ago. But instead of bashing Kurt's Card Care aggressively, now the bashing came when it was safe to do so. And it's not only him, it's a bunch of other people. But why do I keep naming his name? Well, the reality is, if you do memes about me, that's fair game. Here's the reality. Would you go after other individuals, part of the Go Along, Get Along gang? No, you're not. Other people are not. And the reason is because they don't want to A, lose their clout, or two, if they have sponsors and they're not disclosing them, or they have an agreement, they're not going to go after the cream of the crop in this hobby. I'll give you another example. The Spiegel Brothers lawsuit I've mentioned over and over again. And in that lawsuit, no one has touched it, maybe except Paul Lesko. And in that lawsuit document, thus far, and this is what it says in the document, right? We will see if it goes to court whether or not this statement is true, but if it's in the legal document, I'm pretty sure that there is some substance to it. In that legal document, for those that don't know, there was a doctor in California that admitted that Shine 150, once again, according to the legal document, was a private sale consultant of Goldin Auctions at some point, shape, and form. And there's also Card Collector 291, who was a private sales rep who helped convince Ken Goldin, with also Card Porn was involved, to take down that card, the Spiegel Brothers card. What's important about that is Shine 150, who bids on Goldin Auctions, who bids in the auction house arena, well, this individual may have convinced Card Porn, and then Card Porn convinced Ken Goldin to take down that card. Was it to manipulate the comps on that card? Could have been. Was there some other ulterior motive for Shine and Card Porn? Was there more hanky-panky that we're not knowing about? Who knows, right? That's what I'm saying. No one in this hobby has touched this. No one in the hobby is going to go after the go along, get along gang. You're not going to see the mainstream of the hobby go after Ruben. As Sports Card Radio says, they'll call him daddy, right? They're not going to look at the weird behavior at the white party over a year ago. They're not going to look at what appears to be suspicious boxes given to influencers. You're not going to see any of that. It's all silenced. Just like in the media, you're not going to see them go after Big Pharma, their sponsors. It's going to be radio silent. This is what the hobby has become. The hobby has become like the mainstream media. And yes, I will probably lose followers from this, but I got to call a spade a spade. And it's unfortunate that there are other people, though, who are independent, who don't have a conflict of interest, who could call a spade. They're not going to talk about something like the Spiegel Brothers lawsuit. And why won't they do that? Because I covered it. And there are people out there, that used to follow me, like a bunch of them. I've done lives with a bunch of them. And I'm not talking about one, two. I'm talking about, I could count out multiple people that have either blocked me, unfollowed me, Instagram, YouTube, whatever it is. But they won't do that because they have a big ego, because I covered it, right? Specifically the Spiegel Brothers lawsuit. And, they don't want to give attribution as well. The reality of the situation is you could help the hobby out by speaking up. Because look at what happened to Kurt's Card Care situation. People finally spoke up. That's what made change. People critique me that, hey, look, you have no solution. Yeah, the solution is to put pressure on these companies. I just go out in a different way and try to accomplish that goal. People don't understand that, right? So it is what it is. You have people that have conflicts of interest that can't speak up, and people who don't have conflicts of interest, they don't want to speak up because guess what? Because they may not like me, or they may not like the people in the pushback content arena. They don't want to give attribution to them because they have a grudge against them. They had a falling out, whatever it is, right? They don't want to speak up, even though it would help the hobby as a whole. And there are at times, people have gone after me. I don't like them, but I still give them attribution. So it is what it is. Just wanted to give my thoughts on that. Wanted to hear your opinion. Anyways, I'll talk to you later. See ya. Bye.